Hi, and welcome to another coffee break with Formation. So, today we're going to talk about how recruiters are your friends and how you can really lean on them to help you in your interview process. So, before we get into this, I think we should talk a little bit about why your recruiter is on your side. And really, it's because of the incentives of their role. Their entire performance is judged by their ability to fill headcount. So if they can help you convince their team to hire you, they win. Now, the tiny caveat is I think this might be a little less true than the recruiter screen itself, because that's really the only step where the recruiter is evaluating to see if they think you'll have a likely chance of passing interviews with their team. And we'll talk about kind of how to strategize for that interview format in a separate video. But for now, let's consider the situation where you've made it past the recruiter screen and now you're just prepping for those technical rounds. So how do you make use of your recruiter friend? So you can ask them a ton of questions. And I came up with just a few here, but really treat them as an ally on this journey. And so the first thing is to make sure that they are helping you be fully prepared for your interview environment. So, a good recruiter should probably actually proactively prepare you for this, but if they don't, then make sure that you are asking for the details for yourself around the interview formats. Is it going to be coding? Is there going to be systems design? Is there behavioral? Are you talking to a hiring manager? What tools will you be using? Are you going to be in a Google Doc, or are you going to be in CoderPad or Excalidraw? And knowing the tools is one of the best bangs for buck, and in my opinion, in preparing for interviews, because you just don't want to be tripping up over, yet another unfamiliar environment. You want to kind of get the syntax and basics out of the way so that you can really focus on the problem solving component of your interview. And, you can honestly ask your recruiter directly how to prepare for the interview round. And you do not need to dance around this. You can literally just say, how should I prepare for this round of interviews? Should I be studying data structures and algorithms? What frameworks and languages should I be familiar with? And whatever you need to know to help direct your practice and your focus between, now and your interview. And the final thing is you can learn a little bit about how the company and this team is evaluating candidates. One of my favorite questions to ask is, what have you seen be the bottlenecks for people in this process? And this should hopefully give you a little bit of insight into how, candidates have failed in the past and show you the areas kind of that this team is prioritizing. And the final thing I'll say is, just be friendly and respectful of the recruiting process itself. I've seen a lot of interview panels where a candidate is kind of on the fence or neutral. There are some weak no's and there are a couple of weak yeses, and oftentimes the decision is super undecided. And I have actually seen recruiter opinions in these situations sway the final decision. So, your technical interviews are definitely going to weigh more heavily, but, don't forget about the potential bonus points that you can earn at the recruiter step. So to wrap up, your recruiter is your friend in the interview process. So be friendly and respectful to them and lean on them for support in getting yourself prepared for the technical rounds. And if you're watching this video, I'm curious to learn about the interactions that you've had with recruiters, and have you asked these questions and how did it turn out? And yeah, I guess that's it for today. And I will see you at the next coffee break with Formation.